All right. Hello, welcome. My name's Frank. This is No More Paper. Been doing this less and less. One of those moods lately. I just don't feel like doing anything. I would like to one day build a community of traders that would share ideas and aspire to make money through trading. Never want to sell anything. But anyway, some days it's just some days there's not enough time. The amount of work I want to do and the amount of things I want to get done. And on other days, it's nothing but guilt because I didn't do anything, but I didn't want to do anything. Those days are rare, and I'm out of it now. All right, let's start. Let's check out the news first. Any news events coming up? Nothing else again. Tuesday. Tomorrow we got again nothing. What a strange week. Is it because of so many different earnings this week? Oh, we had ADP. Came in a little lower than normal. I would say that's very common in the summer. Thursday we got initial jobless claims, and then Friday PMI. All right, let's see some earnings. Halliburton, 3M, GM, before open. They probably already did post earnings. Maybe earlier. I don't know. It's almost impossible to find a comprehensive list of all the companies that want to report earnings and what time they're going to report. You would have to pay for that. Or I just haven't taken the time to look for it for free. But later on this week we got Intel, which is a big one. And what else? IBM, Alphabet, Google tomorrow after close. Check out the news. Are you kidding me? A rebound? Are you high? I mean, how can they blatantly lie like that? That's insane. I mean, I focus on the S&P, but no, it's the opposite of a rebound. What kind of bullshit are they trying to sell? Because after a down day yesterday for Nvidia that popped in the overnight, that's your That's your news. Let's see. Let me guess. Spend more money. More money that they don't have. I guarantee it's just going to result in another crash. More crash. More bad stuff. U.S. tariffs on Canada, Middle East hostilities. And they keep blaming on the Iran conflict. It's been priced in. People don't care. They're trying to hide the fact that a lot of big players are getting out. A lot of retail's getting out. Nvidia, because Nvidia shares edged up before the bell after the AI chipmaker revealed it had taken a stake in neocloud provider Nebius. So more circular financing. That's their answer. That's what gets everybody hyped. More circular financing, more money that Nvidia is going to give to Nebius, so Nebius buys Nvidia chips. That's all they have. That's their only answer. Still nothing on how they're going to monetize AI. Nothing. And this article is just pumping them up so they can use you as exit liquidity. It's also not a mistake that there's no comments on this, because I guarantee you one of the first comments would be, don't believe it. Oh, there is comments. Maybe this, I think this is a separate article. It is. Oh God, there's what about dumping tech and pour money into Campbell soup? All right. Ben Affleck's AI company is sold. That's just sickening. Why can't I? Because I'm not a pedophile. That's why I can't get in on this. You got to be cozying up to Satan herself to get into the club. But I seriously, I couldn't look someone in the face and tell them this AI is the future. I couldn't do that. I couldn't look in someone's face and do that. I just couldn't. And if you look at the past of a lot of these rich pricks, and not all of them, mostly the real big ones. Like even Elon Musk, I respect some of the things he does, but he stepped on everyone. He screwed everyone he knew. And a lot of them screw family members. They don't care. They just look at these empty, beady eyes. This person has no soul. This person lies for a living. That's it. I mean, let's look at a daily chart of NASDAQ. They're making it sound like Chips rebound. Okay, so if it made all-time new highs, okay, article has a point. But you got to be kidding me. Yeah, let's look at it right now. It's freaking hilarious. Ah, I can't. Damn it. Let me fix that quick. We are at a precipice here. Look at that. All-time new highs made on the 2nd of June. Was it the 2nd or the 3rd? Or the 1st? It doesn't matter. Early June. Since then, stagnation. Because, and yesterday was a bad day. But because stocks recovered, they're going to call that a rebound? Are you out of your mind? I'm almost guarantee you that's so they can get exit liquidity. They want to pump it up, probably back up to 720, 719. I know this isn't NASDAQ, the NQ futures, but same thing. They want to pump it back up to here so they can sell more of their shares. Because they know what's coming. They know that everything's going to crash very soon. I mean, you should see some of the ways they're trying to push, like Microsoft. They're trying to push AI into everyday things like Notepad and I think Word. Word has a pop-up. Even Google, that's it. The other one, Google Docs, now has a pop-up. I don't know if they're doing it for everyone. They might have just tried to roll it out. Has a pop-up that says summarize to Gemini what you would like to write about. Almost something that nobody would want to do. Why? When you open up a document in Google Docs, you want to take notes, maybe write a short story. That's probably more rare. I think most people just use it for notes, or I don't know. But there's no world where someone would want AI to immediately write something up for them. And to get rid of this banner, which by the way, this banner is like 2 inches on the top of the screen. Takes up a whole big chunk of it. Something like 3 clicks to get rid of it every time you open up a doc. And I think, was it Apple? One of the other ones, you know how when you right click, you can do copy, paste, whatever. Right next to copy is Ask AI. When they're trying to make you accidentally click on these things so they can go tell shareholders, hey, look, we're getting engagement with AI. Even though it's all fake, people are doing it accidentally and then they're immediately closing it out. But they're trying to make you accidentally click on it. That's the future. So that's going to justify spending trillions of dollars on GPUs? I don't think so. I think they found the use case for it, and it's a very specialized tool that's interesting, but not worth the money. Something like Claude Code, you can, with $100 a month, you get access to $3,000 worth of tokens. And something like you can run out of that $100, you can run out of that $3,000 really quick. There's no one in the world that's going to pay $3 to $6 to $9 grand a month for that junk. especially when you can download, you can go out and buy two 5090s. I don't know if you can pair two 5090s for AI. Just follow the example. You can buy two 5090s for probably what, $4,000 each, $8,000. And then for years, you can run a coding model that's 90% as good as Cloud Code. Maybe 70% right now, but they're getting better and better all the time. Who in the world is going to pay Anthropic the equivalent of $8,000 a month when they can just set up their own servers for the very limited tools? All this junk about, oh, it's going to cure cancer? Where? Let's see it. When every time you look into their claims a bit more, there's always a nuance. There's always something that's off. This is the biggest grift in the history of the stock market, and it's not going to end well. And I think the media should be held accountable. They never ask the questions. They will vaguely point to, once in a blue moon, something like skepticism. Just vague, not what those specific contradictions are, or bring up themselves arguments against AI. They won't ever do that. They can't do that. They would get fired. They should be held accountable. Nobody will. Nobody will. The average person is going to suffer the most from this. It's just the way it is. We eat it with the inflation on one end, and when it crashes, your 401k gets it on the other end. They use your pension, your 401k, as exit liquidity. Why do you think they want to go public so bad? You're already seeing it with SpaceX. All right, enough about this. I got to trade. Stuff genuinely depresses me. GM lifts guidance after Q2 earnings beat. And that's how is GM beating earnings when nobody buys their cars anymore? Nobody's buying new cars. The numbers are terrible. How are they? It's like everyone in the world is high on grift. They're padding their numbers somehow. I mean, it's a side effect of printing money. When you print money and you keep interest rates low, it allows companies to borrow money so cheap and financial engineer it. I'm not sure exactly how they do it, but they're able to borrow money and turn it into profits, or make it look like profits. And they just keep doing that over and over again. And the government just keeps printing more and more money for them, issuing bonds and buying them back over and over again, so that these companies can use their assets to apply for loans, for really, really cheap loans, and then push that loan money into ways that make it look like profit. I don't know exactly how they do it. What was I getting at? Oh, and this leads all companies, all public companies, private ones too, because it's just the way it works. It leads them to care less and less about customers. They don't need customers anymore. They don't care if you buy their stuff, as long as they can pretend, as long as they can keep the fraud going. So no longer does a car company need people to buy their cars. It's insane. It really is insane. And it's this weird state we're in now, and it's not going to end well at all. enough of this. Let's go to the charts, see if I can see anything. They made it seem like a huge recovery. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I look at strictly the ES, but they're pretty closely correlated, so it doesn't matter. Let's take a look at the VIX first. Yeah, still trending higher. Yeah, it might have gapped lower, but there it is right there, exit liquidity. Take a look at the dollar. Dollar's still going up. Yields, they're kind of flat, but they're going up a little bit. Still remaining elevated. We're still slanting upwards. Thirty-year yields still above 5%. Not good. What also not good is the government keeps printing money. It is absolutely insane. So this is them buying back or selling bonds, quantitative tightening, taking money out of the supply. This is what the Fed was organized to do. They're meant to cause inflation and deflation. The problem is, when we got down to here, at the end of 2025, they should have never stopped tightening. The fact that they did that is insane, and it's clear that they're being influenced by tech billionaires. Very clear. And the lies are so transparent. They're saying we need inflation lower. Then all of a sudden 2%. Where the hell did 2% come from? 2% inflation is terrible. With 2% inflation, you'll never, in 30, 40 years, you won't afford anything. You won't be able to buy a loaf of bread. But yet they still started easing, quantitative easing. Despite that inflation slowed down a little bit, but it never calmed down. I mean, despite what the new Fed chairman says, I don't have faith in him. Maybe after midterms, he'll drop the hammer and actually make a big difference. But I don't think he will. I think he's very intelligent, and he's gonna shift the narrative. He's moving away from the dot plot, which would give you forward guidance on the Fed. So all the Fed stooges, they would predict where they think monetary policy is going to be, 6 months in the future, a year in the future, and it would give everyone a good idea of where we're heading. It would calm down markets. But the biggest thing is, if you go against that dot plot, then you could argue with them, say, hey, why all of a sudden are you cutting when you just said last month that you see this, and this in the future? So by him getting rid of that, it opens up for sudden cuts, which is exactly what Wall Street benefits the most from, what these disgusting tech companies benefit the most from, and the president. Well, not really. I don't know why he thinks that. But for some reason he thinks lower rates mean good. I don't know. I think that's what they're going to say. They're going to come out with, due to X, Y, and Z, we're going to have to do an emergency cut because, whatever. They'll manipulate some event, some emergency. Like, they're just dying for another COVID. You know how many, the transfer of wealth during COVID from the middle class to the upper class is insane. They want another one of them. But what does knowing all this get me? Gets me nowhere. All right, to the charts. I don't know if I have any NQ charts. I've been meaning to add NQ, but part of the issue is on Sierra charts. I have a lot of charts right now, just for the ES. So if I add NQ to that, it's just going to make everything, I won't be able to see the bottom of the window, the bottom of the desktop. There'll be so many pages. And they don't have tabs like TradingView does. It's like one of the few good things TradingView does. But in the overnight, we had a slight recovery right to below 50 simple moving average. I think we're gonna, even if we do end up over rejecting 50 SMA again, like we did back in late June, we're not going to make it far before falling again. I saw a post on Twitter. Confused me a little. It was I forget who it was, but it showed how there's no, the amount of firms that are short only hedge firms, hedge funds, that they only go on the short side. It's at an all-time low. And I don't know if it was making a point like, well, we're never going to have a bear market again, or a widely held belief, an old school belief, I guess you would call it, is when every single person is a bull, there's no one left to buy. So the only way to go is down. And you're going to have a bear market as people need to sell off inventory. I don't know. After watching the market for the last 4 years, it seems like all the little policies, even the way the SEC goes after short sellers, the financial engineering, the way companies are now, the rules that the NASDAQ changed, and all that is leaning more and more towards permable. meaning we'll only ever get small pullbacks. And just continue to go up and up and up and up. And that's when I say, okay, great, let's get on the boat and ride. Buy low then, buy every pullback, and you're golden. Okay, so let's say you make a couple $1,000s a week. What happens when a carton of milk is $1,000? Because every 100 points the market goes up, you might as well say inflation's going up 0.1%. I don't know the exact thing, but it's close to that. Maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong before. All right, let's zoom in. I think yesterday they were talking bullish too. If you notice, every little market fart that pushes this up, all the journalists rush to their computers and, well, first they close Reddit, and then they put out puff pieces. AI trades back. And then it fails. Immediately sells off. If that's not a textbook situation, I don't know what is. And so whoop-de-doo, we recovered overnight. But we didn't make it far. We're now back to VWAP. I didn't do any of my homework this morning. I didn't look into any levels. So, I don't know. I don't know right now. Where we stopped, the high of the overnight. It's actually a pretty random area. I mean, it's just below yesterday's value area high. Where we stopped was not random. That was opening rate or initial balance low from last week. I could see us going back down there, testing that again. If we do go lower, that is what we'll test. This is no longer in play, this naked value area. We did hit initial balance, yesterday's initial balance low. Spot on, bounced from that. If we break that, I would say we will go all the way to yesterday's close, if not yesterday's low. Well, it's not yesterday's low, the overnight low. I mean, yesterday's low could be it too. One of these down here. So if we break yesterday's initial balance low, expect us to go there. If we go higher, again, we got previous month's close holding us back. It stopped us yesterday. If we do break that, I would imagine we would rush all the way up to 75, 78. Or the good old 75, 75 level, which has been a major level for a long time now. We constantly return there. Or we just range and wait for Google earnings tomorrow. Who knows? I do not think the AI trade is back. But that does not mean that I won't go bullish. It just means I want this market to drop. I want it to drop 80% so I can buy in all the way down. All right, that's all I got. Good luck, goodbye.